Welcome to This Explainer. If you are an association executive, a CEO, or maybe a tech committee member currently evaluating association management software, you're in exactly the right place. Now, far too often, organizations rush into comparing AMS systems way too quickly. They look at generic feature matrices, get wowed by flashy demos, and completely miss the bigger picture. So today, drawing on independent insights from SmartThoughts, we're skipping the basic checklists. Instead, we're focusing purely on operational fit. To really set the stage, let's look at our core thesis for this explainer. The independent advisory tells us that MemberClicks Professional and NoviAMS can both serve small to mid-size associations, but they are not the same kind of AMS decision. The better fit depends heavily on membership structure, accounting strategy, staff capacity, website needs, and operational maturity. You see, choosing between these two platforms isn't just some battle of technical specs. It's a massive strategic fork in the road for your organization's future. So here is our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the core decision, then dive into the operational divide and explore the web and staff experience. After that, we'll tackle critical trade-offs, help you figure out finding your fit, and finish up with a SmartThoughts advisory close.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the core decision, looking at positioning by operational DNA.
Quick feature comparisons almost always miss the most critical question, which is organizational alignment. What is the fundamental, underlying DNA of the software? Well, with MemberClicks Professional, think of it kind of like a Swiss Army knife. Its core value is all-in-one simplicity, designed mainly for professional associations that have individual members. It's built to consolidate your website, your emails, and your database all into one neat package. NoviAMS, on the other hand, is a highly specialized engine. It was built specifically for complex trade associations, so it's a lot less about broad, simple consolidation and entirely about deep financial operational alignment with QuickBooks. Moving on to Section 2, the operational divide. Here, we'll unpack membership structures and financial strategy. The absolute biggest difference between these two platforms hinges on a deceptively simple question. Who are your members and how do you manage their money? If you're a professional association tracking individuals, think doctors, lawyers, or certified planners, MemberClicks is tailor-made for that structure. But if you are a trade association that manages complex corporate relationships, familial organizational trees, and affiliates, NoviAMS was actually built by association professionals specifically to handle that exact company-based structure. It dictates everything from how you handle billing to how your directories are displayed. And that naturally leads us to a really powerful number, 24/7. This is Novi's signature superpower. They feature a 24/7 two-way sync with QuickBooks that literally eliminates the need for manual dual entry. For some teams, this automation can save anywhere from 20 to 40 hours a week. If accounting accuracy is your absolute #1 priority, this is a total game changer. Now, looking at MemberClicks, they absolutely offer vital financial integrations, and that includes both QuickBooks and Dynamics. However, they do not use a rigid architecture built entirely around QuickBooks. Their driving philosophy is all-in-one simplicity. They want to give you a consolidated pegboard where all your tools are right there and organized, rather than forcing your entire operation into a highly specialized accounting-first workflow. Let's look at Section 3, Web, Staff, and Experience, and cover the real-world capacity and implementation repercussions. When it comes to your digital front door, your association's internal capacity is really going to dictate your best path forward. MemberClicks offers a really tightly integrated website model. You get your CMS, your member content, and your public pages all living happily in one streamlined environment. NoviAMS, meanwhile, delivers an incredibly powerful operational workflow and member portal, but the trade-off there is a more restrictive website builder. If your marketing team requires limitless, ground-up design flexibility, Novi's highly structured approach might feel a bit confining to them. So how does this actually impact your staff on a regular Tuesday? Well, smaller teams with limited IT resources usually love MemberClicks because of its vendor-managed implementation. It's essentially a built-in white-glove safety net. Novi, conversely, appeals strongly to teams that prioritize absolute accounting workflow accuracy. They boast genuinely incredible customer service, but your staff must be completely bought into a QuickBooks-dependent workflow for that system to truly sing. That brings us to Section 4, Risks and Critical Trade-offs. It is time for an independent reality check. We all know no system is perfect, right? So let's look at the actual realities, starting with the trade-offs for MemberClicks. The price you pay for that all-in-one simplicity is a cap on deep customization. If you need highly advanced third-party integrations, or maybe massive multi-tiered enterprise conference management, you're going to hit some constraints here.
It simply has a lighter overall feature depth compared to massive Tier 1 enterprise systems. It's incredibly reliable transportation for sure, but it is not a bespoke, highly customized luxury vehicle.
Now, what about the trade-offs for NoviAMS? Interestingly, its greatest strength is also its biggest potential risk, that absolute operational dependency on QuickBooks. If your association ever decides to change accounting platforms, or if you just organically outgrow QuickBooks altogether, Novi might suddenly no longer be a fit. Throw in some smaller vendor size considerations and those defined website design limitations we talked about, and you really have to weigh your long-term priorities carefully.
Heading into Section 5, Finding Your Association's Fit. Let's figure out who should look harder and when you should probably just pause.
Let's make this highly actionable and identify your specific organizational profile. You should evaluate MemberClicks if you are a professional association with individual members, you're looking for an all-in-one environment, you have limited internal IT resources, and you highly value simplicity to reduce disconnected tools. On the flip side, you should evaluate NoviAMS if you're a trade association with company members. QuickBooks is already central to your workflow. You desperately want that tight membership to accounting sync, and you value trade-specific operational design and support. But it's equally important to know when to just stop. You should pause your evaluation of both platforms right now if you need highly complex, enterprise-level conference operations or limitless custom software integrations. For Novi specifically, definitely hit pause if your long-term roadmap involves migrating away from QuickBooks or if you absolutely need limitless website design flexibility. These are explicit red flags that tell you neither platform is the right strategic fit. Finally, Section 6, the SmartThoughts Advisory Close, highlighting the value of structured selection.
I want to leave you with a quote from the independent analysis that really hits the nail on the head. AI can summarize AMS features, but it cannot determine whether your association's membership model, accounting structure, staff capacity, data complexity, and growth path make one system a safer fit than another. That is where a structured AMS selection process matters. Let that sink in. A feature list will never tell you the whole operational story.
If you want to dig much deeper into this independent, vendor-neutral analysis, I highly encourage you to visit smartthoughts.net to read the full, comprehensive reviews. Before you sign that next big software contract, I want you to ask yourself a tough question. Are you just buying a shiny list of features, or are you actually investing in your association's operational DNA? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy evaluating.